Hey, hi, welcome guys. Welcome back to our channel, which is Five Now, try to understand. I am going to do with the conventional method what we used to do. Okay, so what we are going to do, as I told you, this is our in for I in range 1 to 5, range range 1 to 5, 1 comma 5, and yes, and inside of for loop I am going to execute inner for loop, and for j in not range, this is something like x comma y comma and z comma z. Okay, this is something like this, and that's all. And yeah, sorry, I made a mistake. Okay, here what we are going to do, try to understand. Print, I'm going to not print, okay, print, let it to be print right now for a while, just print it up, I into j, okay, and execute this code. Try to understand this, execute, let me execute this code. Okay, so let me execute. Can you see this output? Okay, so what happened basically here, try to if you will you are able to understand this concept, then you can understand that concept also easily. So what is going to happen, try to understand here. Control A, Control C, let me put over my paint. Okay, over my paint, not working. Okay, no worries, I can write the code here itself. So what we did here, for I in, it's a bit confusing, no worries, range, and here I am going to define 1 comma 5. Okay, no worries. First attempts, I was very sure that no one can understand. Okay, so don't hesitate to ask the question x, y, z. If you are not understanding, you are here to understand the concept. You are not here to understand the hesitating. Okay, so try to understand. For j in x, so basically first execution will start from this line. So basically first execution will start from this line. First execution will start from this line. So what is saying, I in range of 1 5. So I, basically I will be 1, I will be 1, no doubt, and it will go inside of this loop. And here what is the value we are saying, j x y z, and here we told print I into j, sorry, I into j. Now try to understand the concept. Okay, so I value will be 1 1 1, and what is the value of j? First j will be pointing to the x, so 1 into x, 1 into x, 1 into x, and now what the output we are getting, x. Okay, similarly j will be pointing to the y. So just first inner, first outer, then inner, then outer again. Okay, so first inner, let me complete the inner loop. So next time j will be pointing to the y value, so and y, and still I value remain 1. So y into 1, y into 1, so will be y. Similarly, j will pointing to the z. So z into, still I value will be 1. The z into 1 is equal to z. Now our inner loop got executed completely, and it will come out from the inner loop, and again out it will reach to the outer loop, because outer loop is not completed yet. Okay, so now I will be 2. Now my I value become a 2, and again j will, inner loop will start from the beginning itself. See, once you are coming out from the loop will start from the beginning itself. But in case of outer loop, it is not happening like this. Why? Because outer loop is not completed yet. That's what outer loop is executing from where we stop, from there only. Got it? So now I will be 2, and 2 will be multiplied with x. Okay, so we are getting x into x. 2 will be multiplied with y, so we are getting y into y. 2 will be multiplied with z, so we are getting z into z. Got it? Similarly, now inner loop got execution completed. Now what we are going to do, I will be pointing to the next value of the range function, which is 3, and 3 will be multiplied with x, 3x, 3 will be multiplied with y, 3y, 3 will be multiplied with z, 3z. Similarly 4. Hope you understood, Sabrinath, and Jyoti also you are able to understood, right?
Yes, I'm understanding.
Yes. So if you are able to understood this, what we did, we put inside of list. That's all. We put inside of list. So we are getting complete output in the form of list. That's all. And if we are going to put this output in the form of set, then you will get, you know, these concepts as set comprehension. If you are going to put all those things in a tuple, basically in case of tuple comprehension is not allowed, because once you are defining the tuple, you cannot add the element over there. Okay, so tuple, in case of tuple, is not possible. In case of dictionary you can do, I'll show you. Okay, so hope you understood this concept, right? I'm going to give one more task to you. I need this kind of output. Now just try to understand, I need this kind of output. 2 comma 3. See, most popular interview question, most popular hackathon question, if you go in any hackathon, you will find this kind of question. Okay, so till now what we had taught you, that is completely very basic, means in, I can say in the 6th 7th class standard student are learning those things. Okay, now you have to apply those concepts and you have to achieve something. That's the things. 2 3 comma 4 and yes, 2 3 4 and comma 3 comma 4. I need this kind of output, comma 5, yes, and here 4 comma 5 comma 6. Okay, I showed you both the way, means conventional way also I showed you, and list comprehension way also I showed you. Okay, now I need this kind of output. Can anyone help me out how we can do it up? It's a list comprehension. Okay, no worries at all. Okay, no worries, I'll help you out. Don't worry, don't bother about it. If I'm asking to can anyone help me, I know no one can help me in this. Okay, it's a very typical question, and this I guess day before yesterday I went in hackathon and I got this question. Okay, so let me show you how to do this, how to achieve these things. Basically what you can see here in first value, let me change the color so I can elaborate these things. So if you can see this first three number 2 3 4, in the second number we are going to add, we starting number is 3, second number. In the third value is starting from the 4. Okay, so you can understand some logic what is happening here, right? So now what I'm going to do, see, let's understand the concept first. Let's understand the concept. Suppose if I'm writing for I in range, for I in range 2 comma 5, for I in range, if I'm writing these things, so what the output we will get? Can anyone help me? 2 3 4, we will get these things. We are getting these things, no doubt at all. Okay, no doubt at all. Now try to understand what we can do. Yes, what we can do. Thank you for responding over here. Please respond, otherwise I'll feel no one is here and everyone is sleeping. Okay, please respond, and don't sleep over the call, and log in, and everyone is used to do the same thing. Log in and they are sleeping over there. Now we will get why we put this bracket, because I need the output in the form of this. That's what I keep it like this. Got it? No doubt. But this output you got, no worries. If I need this much, then this is the fine, this will work properly. But I need these things, boss. So what we can do, again try to understand here what we are going to do. Again I am writing here for j in 2 sorry 0 1 2. So here I am going to write 0 1 comma 2. Okay, so don't worry, this is the same line. So what is going to happen, try to understand. And here I am writing here I plus j, you will get the output, means this is the complete output. Okay, so try to understand what we did here. Where is the eraser? I don't know where is the eraser. I'm very new to this tool. I don't know where is the eraser actually. I'll see where is the eraser. Now try to understand. First, this is, as I already told you, this is what, first this is our outer loop, this is our outer loop. Oh, light has gone, no worries. So this is our outer loop. This is, am I audible, guys? Please help me out, am I audible or not? Okay, so this is our outer loop, this is our inner loop, right? No doubt, inner loop. Okay, so this is our outer loop. So basically first outer loop will execute. So this is 0, right? So j, and now I will be 2, I will be 2, and j will be 0. So 2 plus 0 is what? And I put inside of list, we will get 2. Second time what we are getting, I value will increase by 1 and 3, and still j value will be 0. The 3 plus 0 is equal to 3. Similarly 4, in case of 4 also we will get the same, but 5 will not execute. Next time j value will be increased by, means will point to the 1. Okay, will point to the 1, and this time I value will again increase from the 2 to 2. So 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So next time we will get this 3. And why this square bracket? Because we keep inside of square bracket I plus j. Got it? So similarly it will happen like this till 2 3 4 5, and next time j will point to the 2. J will be point to the 2, and I value again start from the 2. So 2 plus 2 will get 4, and 2 plus 2 is 4, and 2 plus 3 is 5. 2 plus 5, 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. We are getting these things. We will get it out. Okay, we will execute this code, don't worry. Hope you understood the concept what we did. Initially you become a very horrible how to do these things, but now you get the clear picture, because that time is the xyz and you are able to understand, but this is the number. It's a kind of bit typical here to elaborate. Okay, let me do this. Let me do this. uh, let's see how to attain these things, right? I'm going to do list 3, and here I am going to define 1 minute square bracket for I in range, 2 comma 5, right? 2 to 5, 2 to 5, and for j in, and here I am going to define. Okay, don't you think so? Instead of writing this list, instead of making this list, I can write here 0 to 2, 0 to 3, range 0 to 3. I can write like this also. That is also possible. You can try. See, if you want to do this kind of thing, do it. Then only you can able to understand. Got it? Okay. Hope you will try and we'll see. Okay. Now I am going to here 0, comma 1, comma 2. Basically, it's a range only. And now here I am going to define this, and here I am going to write I plus j. That's all. And okay, and here I am printing this, print list 3. Basically, if we don't have this concept list comprehension, you have to write 7 or 8 line of code. I'll show you in a while. Just give me a moment, I'll show you that things. Can you see this? We are getting the output, right? We are getting our output, correct? Okay, let me show you in the conventional way. Conventional way is what? I'm going to create one list 4. I'm going to create one list 4, an empty list I'm going to create. Okay, and now I'm going to show you the same thing with the for loop. Okay, our convention for I in I in here I am defining here 0 1 2, 0 comma 1 comma 2. Okay, and here I am going to define for j in for j in, okay, for j in range 2 to 5, 2 comma 5, 2 comma 5. And let me show you, print, not print, I don't need to print. What I'm going to do, I'm going to 1 minute, I'm going to define some variable like l I'm going to define l, inside of l I'm going to add I plus j, j, and afterwards what we have to do, append in the list 4. So list 4 append, list 4 dot append. Okay, list list 4 dot append, you can call append and l, add it up. Okay, now if we can execute this code, and after the end of this loop I'm going to print list 4, list 4. Got it? No doubt. I'm going to comment this line of code because you understood the concept, first understood the conventional way, then go to the list comprehension. Correct? Can you see this? Correct. We getting the output, same output what we did with the list comprehension, and we did the same thing with the inner and outer for loop also. So if you are going to do with the inner and outer for loop, then you have to write around 6 or 7 line of code, but with the list comprehension we can able to achieve the same thing with the single line of code. So hope you got the beauty of the code structure, right? Cool. I'm giving some homework to you. Please do it out. Means not home. As you can consider it as a homework. Tomorrow will be weekend. Means okay. So tomorrow, okay, the timing we will discuss later on. But let me give some homework to you guys. Okay. Any doubt so far? Just give the quick confirmation, please. So what you have to do, you have to write a logic like this: 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 and sorry 5 comma, and here 3 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 3 4 5 6 and 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7, right, comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8. Hope it is easy, very easy. If you can able to understand the logic, if you are able to do this, then you can easily do this also. Okay, and one more homework I am going to give it to you. Okay, so let's try to understand. Giving the homework is not like that ki I am not I don't want to explain something. I want to explain, that's what I'm giving the homework. Cool. So I want this kind of output: 1 comma 1, 2 comma 1, 3 comma 1, okay, comma 1 comma 2, 1 comma 2, comma sorry 2 comma 2, comma 3 comma 2, comma 1 comma 3, comma 2 comma 3. Note down homework. This is the current homework. I cannot otherwise take a snap. Okay, this is question number 1 and this is question number 2. This is the assignment. Okay, please submit the assignment by tomorrow. Yep, cool. So this, with this list comprehension got completed. Now now we are coming to the set. Okay, I guess set I already taught you so far. Let me give some recap over here so that everyone will be in the same page. Okay, cool. So what we are doing here, basically what we are doing, set is what? Set is the, you know, kind of data structure where we are going to store a group of individual object in the single object, in the form of the single object, where duplication is not allowed. That kind of data structure is known as the set data structure. Got it? Means whenever we want to execute, whenever we want to represent a group of individual object in the form of the single object, where individual will not allowed, individual object, sorry, where repetition is not allowed, sorry my bad, not individual, repetition is not allowed, then only we should go with the set. Okay, just for the quick and recap only, I already taught you these things. I have to teach something different, that's what. This is my very basic funda. Means whenever I am going to teach something new, I have to recap, I have to give the recap of previous class only. Okay, so print x. If we are printing x and if we are going to execute this line of code, shift F10, can you see this 1020 1020 I wrote 2 times, but I got the output only single time. Means in case of list, sorry, in case of set, you cannot repeat the element. Set will not allow the repetitions, right? Repetition, right? No worries, no worries, no worries, no worries. What I'm going to do, just try to understand. I'm going to remove this, and s is equal to, I am going to define here one string like Rajesh, and suppose this is the string, right? And if you want to convert this string in the form of the set, we had learned one concept. What is that? Shahrukh Khan cannot stay with me, but I can stay with Shahrukh Khan. What the things, what the concept we know? Typecasting, right? If you want to convert anything in the any form, then we should go with the typecasting. Okay, so set, and here inside of set we are passing this s, and now try to see the magic, And if we are going to print S, if we are going to print, Shift F10 is the shortcut key to run. Can you see this? HAA. Okay, no worries. I'll do one more thing. I'm going to write AE. Okay, and now I'm going to execute this code. Can you see this? I'm not getting AA 2 times. I'm not getting EE 2 times. I'm getting only. And also in case of set, you should remind insertion order will be not preserved, means in which order we are inserting the element, in the same order we might not get the output, we might not get the output. Okay, we can, but we might not, means sometime. Okay, it's a depend on the your your OS, depend on the different Python virtual machine which is running on the top of your OS, depend on that. Okay, so yes, that's we gave the recap, and now you can able to convert your string in the set also. Yeah, fine. Now, suppose you want to check whether some specific alphabet is present in your string or not. How you can check this? How you can able to check? Yes, we can able to check. How we can check? Suppose print. I'm going to print. I want to check whether Z in S, whether G is in S. If Z is an S, then what it should return? It should return true. If it is not, then it will return false, means G is not there. Suppose I want to check R, whether R is present or not. Okay, whether R is present or not. Yes, I am able to get the true. I am able to get the true because R is present in my set, right? Suppose if I am writing here capital R, okay, so I am able to get false because capital R is not present here. Okay, let's now similarly set comprehension. Suppose I want to do the set comprehension. Okay, so I just want to give the quick confirmation recap, means like this. Set comprehension means what? You saw list comprehension. Now just change the bracket, that's all. Just change the bracket, you can able to achieve set comprehension. Just wait a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm put over the chat. Okay, just set comprehension is what? Suppose you want a set of the number, square of the numbers. You want to get the set of the square of the number. What we can do, try to understand here. Suppose S is equal to in case of list comprehension, what we used to do, we used to make like this. Okay, but in case of set comprehension, you should use curly braces. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, for I in range, and here we are writing here 5 because I need square of numbers between 0 to 5, and what we can do, I into I, that's all. And if we are going to execute this, print S, that's all. Okay, can you see this? 0 1 4 9 means I got the square of the numbers between 0 to 5, correct? And in the form of set, suppose, okay, suppose what we can do, we can change this in the form of list, suppose we are going to do this and this, and now if you are executing this code, you can able to achieve list comprehension. Similarly, if you are going to do this in the form of tuple, then this concept is known as the, see, in case of tuple, we are not able to get this. Okay, in case of tuple, we are not able to do, because in case of tuple, once you define the tuple, you cannot add the element, correct? So in case of tuple, it is not possible. In case of set and list and dictionary, you can do it happily, you can do it. Okay, so set similarly, this concept, whatever we taught you, these things you can make it in the form of the set also, that is also possible. You can make it out, just outer bracket you have to change, that's all, nothing else. I guess I taught you the eval function. Have I am I taught you eval function, eval, whether I taught you eval function or not? Can anyone help me out? What is the eval function? No. Okay, so let's see the eval function. What is the eval function? Okay, by default, what the input method is return type. What is the return type of the input method? What is the return type of the input method? Input method will return string, right? Suppose you are going to write input, everything you forget, guys, right? Enter enter your name, okay, and after entering, if you are going to check the type of sorry, print typ type of s. So let's me execute this code once. So what is saying? Enter your number, name. So I'm going to write here Rajesh. So can you see this? By default, input method will return a string. Let's suppose, I want to, 1 minute. Let's suppose I want to convert this name into integer format. Am I able to do this? Let me show you. Just, and if I'm executing this, I'm getting error because name cannot be converted into the integer format. And suppose you wrote one code and it always will take a number, it should always take a number, and but you want to user gave a by default string method, string value, and that string value not able to convert in the numbers, that string value will not able to convert into the number, and your complete code will get spoiled. Means, suppose in future, suppose you wrote here 1,000 line of code, you wrote below the 1,000 line. Due to this, failure, your compiler will not compile this many line of code because it got stuck there only. Due to this, means I asked to the user, hey user, please pass number, don't pass alphabet. But user is user, he can able to test anything. So user will pass by mistake or intentionally, he passed some alphabet or string. So in that case, your code will got destroyed, right? So what we can do, what we can do, we can call this input method over the eval function. So eval function, if you are calling, so what the benefit of the eval function, try to understand here, just try to be focused here. If we are passing Rajesh, oh shit, type of s, what happened, name error, Rajesh is not defined. Okay, got it. Got it. Means if you are passing the string, you have to give in the double quote. Okay. So in this case, suppose if user is passing the number also, then also it is taking. Suppose user is passing the string value. If user is passing RJSH, if user is passing this, then it is automatically it is detecting it as a string. So eval is the kind of intelligent function, you can say. So based on the user input, it will consider what is the type of the input. Got it? So where you don't want whether you don't know what the end user will pass the input. Give me a moment, guys. At the moment when you don't know what the user may pass, means whether the user can pass integer or number also, string also, that time you should use eval function. Okay, similarly, just a minute, I'll do some R&D over here. If I'm passing here 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 and executing, see, it is considering this is a list. Whatever you will pass, it will consider that thing. Correct, right? Okay, no doubt, no doubt. So my one question from my end. Okay, so up to this, to no doubt at all. So I'll pass this code to you guys for your understanding. Okay, let me show you something. We have one question. Okay, so question number 1 is write a program program to eliminate the duplicate present in the list, to eliminate duplicates present in the list. How we can do? Can anyone help me out? You already knows. Okay, I'm not asking anything which you don't know. 23 comma 45 comma 7 comma 10 comma 10 comma 30. Okay, cool. I want to remove the duplicates with this list. How we can do? Typecasting, exactly, good. So typecasting we can do means what we can do, we just call l is equal to list, not list, set, and if we are passing the l, not l, I, l, if we are passing the l, and now this time if I'm printing this l, so I am getting can you see this, my duplicate got removed. Typecasting you can do, the typecasting, no doubt. So yes, typecasting you can do, no worries, no worries. But you know, I went in one interview. At that moment my interviewer asked me, remove the duplicate value from the list. I told the same way, we can take a list with the user and we will pass this list in the set, and it will remove the duplicate. He asked me again, no, I don't want to use this typecasting concept, I want another approach. So another approach is also available. Let me copy this first. Let me copy it to your chat box. So another approach is also available. See, try to understand all those approach, whatever possible approaches are there, try to execute all those approaches. Okay, so what we can do, just this time we will take a input with the user. Okay, this time we are going to take a input with the user. So l, I'm going to define l and input. Okay, same thing, you can take a, you can define input in the program itself, or you can take a input from the user also. So what we can do, enter list of the value, list of the values, right? So list, as I already told to user ki user please pass the list, but if user will not pass the list, then your responsibility to convert that form in the list. So what I can do, eval function I can call. Now onwards we will use the eval function, because eval is the intelligent method. Instead of using int, float, list, we can use the eval method, right? And that's all, it's done. Now I'm going to create one dummy list, I'm going to create one dummy list, empty list. And what I'm going to do, for I in l, for I in l, and let's see, I in l, if I not, if I not in l1, okay, if not in l1, then append l1 dot append, method we can call, and here we can append the I, if not in. Okay, and at the end we can print our l1, print l1. So this is also approach. Yes, this is also approach, right? In order to remove the duplicate values, correct? What I'm going to do, I'm going to define here list 1 comma 1 comma 2 comma 2 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4, correct. And if I'm executing this, I'm able to get the correct output. So if any interview will ask this kind of question, then this is also one of the approach you can do it on. Okay, yes, I'm passing this also, no worries. Whenever you are taking the class, please open your PyCharm. Okay, please open your PyCharm so that you can copy paste the code in the PyCharm itself. Okay, okay, given word. Now next question is what? Write a program, WAP in the sense of write a program to print different vowels, this is a very common question, different vowels. If you go in any interview, they might be asked same question. It's a very, you know, it's a kind of repeated question. I went in around 20, more than 20 interviews, and out of 20 I guess 15, in 15 interview I face same questions. So write a program to print a different vowels present in the given word, so let's do this. If anyone any idea, then they can share with me. I really appreciate your idea what to do and how we can achieve the same. Anyone, they can unmute yourself and you can elaborate your concept. I want to just see what is your approach. That's all. No idea. Okay, no worries. If you have any idea, then you can unmute yourself and You can talk with me, no worries, no, not at all. If you don't think like that ki whether my idea will be relevant or not, I really appreciate your ideas. Okay, I need ideas. Okay. Oh, anyways, so I'm taking the input with the user input. Hey user, enter word to search for vowel. Enter word to search for vowels. vowels. Okay, enter search word to for the vowels, and now user will pass the vowel word. As word is already string, so no need to put inside of eval method or string method. Okay, because input method by default will return a string only, right? Now what I'm going to do, I am going to define all vowel here, and okay w. Now what I'm going to do, try to understand, I'm going to convert this word in form of the set. Why so? Because in word it might be number of alphabet might be repeat, so I have to convert this into set. Now I'm going to define one vowel. Okay, v stand for vowel, and vowel also I'm going to define inside of set or tuple or list, whatever you want to define inside of, you can define it. Okay, that is up to you. A comma I comma, as I am teaching you set, so I'm defining inside of set. A E, okay, A E comma I don't know the vowels, just check it out. A E I O U, right? If I am wrong, if I am right, U, A E I O U, correct. This is the vowels, right? Vowels. Now what is that? What I'm going to do, try to understand, I have to check whether inside of set vowels are present or not. Okay, so what we can do, there we go, for I in W. Okay, for I in W, and let me show you. if if I in V, if I in V, then it will return true. It will return true. Then we have to print you can say I. Okay, so I is the vowel. You can print like this, I is the vowel, is the vowel, is the vowel. Let me execute this code and let's see whether we are able to achieve our goal or not. Shift F10, and here I am passing uh, RJSH. Let's see, E is a vowel, A is the vowel. You can do like this. Okay, yep, cool. Then hope you understood the concept. Now coming to the dictionary data structure. Got it? Any doubt so far? This is the one of the way you can say. Okay, but there is also another way is also available. You can try from, if you find any another way which you can do, you can do it up, no doubt. And also guys, we had sorry, what we were saying, we had uploaded our all videos, whatever I used to teach on the live class over the YouTube. Yes, right now that is public, but after the 5 or 7 class, that will not be a public. You have to access with your registered mail ID. Okay, just it's for the sake of business purpose, we made it live, public, correct? So please do access all those videos. Let me show you here. Okay, if you go to the Pybron, yes, we had uploaded up to 5 class. So far we had uploaded, so far we took a 5 class, so all those 5 class we uploaded here. See, part 2, or not this. Okay, 1 minute, just go to the Pybron section and go to the playlist. If you go to the playlist, you can see data science with live classes. Okay, so you will get all those 5 classes here, right? Okay, cool. Then fine, just to sake of your knowledge purpose, I just showed you these things. So all those videos you can access till your lifetime also. And just at the end of the class, I'll share one Google Sheet. Please forward your mail IDs, so we will give the access that particular videos to your mail IDs. Okay, just keep that mail IDs. Fine. Now let's see the dictionary data structure. What is the dictionary data structure? Yep, let me show you the dictionary. as we already, I guess, dictionary data structure, dictionary data structure. Okay, let me ask with something with you guys, whether you are understanding or not.
No, right now I'm not facing any issues, but I have to practice all these programs which you are telling.
Yes,
Only then I'll.
that's what we exactly. That's what we converted our weekdays class into the weekend, so that you will get till 5 days to practice. At least if you do the half an hour, also you can able to achieve the goal. Because without practicing, you cannot understand any single bit. Okay, if I am teaching 4 hours, 3 hours, no use at all. You have to do the practice. This is the main agenda. Okay, and during the practice, if you face any challenges, you can happily ping me personally and in this group also. Okay, thank you, stay tuning, right? So let's discuss about the dictionary. What is the dictionary data structure? Dictionary is the kind of data structure where you want to represent a group of individual object in the form of key value pair. Then we should go with the dictionary. And in the dictionary, repetition will be allowed and insertion order will be preserved. What is dictionary? Let me annotate this. We'll use this color. Okay. So what is dictionary? Just a minute. So if you want to represent a group of individual object, single object, where repetition in the single object in the form of, sorry, in form of key value pair, where repetition allowed. Hope you understood the definition, right? Dictionary is this kind of thing. Suppose like this. So dictionary always represent in the form of the curly braces. Okay, so like roll 101001, name, sorry, name, like this, Rajesh, and class, you can say class 5. This is the kind of dictionary. Here all those value we are stored in the form of the key value pair, key value. Whoever came for the data science, they has to be very prepared for the dictionary, because we have to use lot of thing in dictionary, with the dictionary. Okay, so very prepared over that. Okay, and what the things, duplication will, okay, key, in case of dictionary we cannot add duplicate key. First thing, we can't add the duplicate key, but duplicate value you can add. Okay, next thing is what, heterogeneous element we can store. See, right now we stored number and string also. The heterogeneous is allowed, heterogeneous will allowed. Okay, right. Indexing, third number, indexing and slicing concept are not applicable. Means in case of list, you had seen indexing in case of list and tuple, because their element is going to be insert in the form of index, but here element is going to be insert in the form of key value pair. So here main role will play of key will play a main role. Okay, so indexing and slicing concept are not applicable. Slicing, you know, right? So what is the slicing? Like L, we had seen L and 1 to 5. So 1 to 5 we are getting, this is slicing we had seen. So indexing and slicing concept will not applicable. Indexing and slicing concepts will not applicable. Correct? Okay. Have you noted, or do you want to note it down? Then note it down, otherwise take a screenshot. But I am recommending, please note it down. Okay. Anyways, you will get the recordings, but I am very sure that please watch the session on a live class, right? Okay, Jyoti took a screenshot and she sent over the group only. Please don't do like that. If you want to take a screenshot, take in your personal laptop. Okay, anyways, fine. Okay, cool. Next, how to create a dictionary, that's we are going to see in a while. Okay, let's see how to create a dictionary. Let me create a dictionary. You can create a dictionary like this. This is also one way, or also you can create a dictionary like this. DICT. DICT is one method, and you can create a dictionary. That is also one way. So both the way you can do it up, whatever possible, defining the dictionary. Both the way is okay for you guys. You can choose whatever possible way you can do it up. Okay. So this is the optional. I am not recommending at all, because here number of word is very more. That's what. Okay. Now we are going to define something here. What we are going to define? D, and here I am going to define 100, and inside of 00 I am going to define like Pybron, Pybron, and here inside of this D200, D200. Key should be unique. Key should be unique. Just precaution for that. Key should be unique. And here I am going to define like this. And 1 minute. 100. And here I am going to define like Ronak. Ronak. Anyone knows Ronak here? Who is Ronak? Very famous comedian, RJ Ronak. Okay, print D. If I'm going to print D and shift F10, can you see this? I'm able to get the output, right? Yes. So you can get the output. So always dictionary will store in the form of key value pair. Let's see. Okay, so dictionary will, syntax for dictionary, syntax is what? Try to understand the syntax for dictionary. What is the syntax? Syntax for dictionary is this one. D, you write D, and here you can define a key colon value, comma, key colon value. Right? This is the syntax for dictionary, no doubt at all, no doubt. Just for your guys, I am going to pass here. Let's take it up, right? Ronak is done. Now, how to access the data from the dictionary? Now, next question is that how to access the data from the dictionary? As I already told you, in case of dictionary, there is a no concept of index and slicing. So you cannot fetch the element with the form of the index. You have to, if there is a byte, main role is the key role. So you can access the element either from the key. You have to access the element with the help of the key. So how we can access the element with the help of the key? Let's see. So what I can do, print, sorry, print, and here I am going to write D of 100. So it will give me what? It will give, it should give Pybron, right? It should give Pybron. I am getting the Pybron. Let's suppose if I am going to execute this control C, and if I am trying to execute this control B, and here I am writing something 1001, 1001, and this time if I am trying to execute, I am getting key error. Means with the 1001 we don't have any key. Got it? So you have to take care of that. If key will be present, then only it should give. Otherwise it will not give. Okay. So suppose again real time problem which I faced in the last back, I faced the same issue. Suppose user is seeking to know all those things, means user is fetching asking the output with the 1001 and 101, and that 101 is not present in our database. So your program will get fail at that moment. What you can do at that time? So you have to apply the check here. So how we can overcome this problem? So we can do, if suppose if 101 in D, then only we have to execute this line of code. Otherwise we should not execute this code. Hope you understood this line of code. Okay, else what we can say? Else print the message like we will see exception handling. At that time we can overcome this problem, but right now whatever we taught, with that we have this many concept, with that we can implement this kind of code. So you can say 100,101 is not available. Okay, you can do. And now if you are going to execute, you can see 10001 is not available, right? Suppose you are passing. Now this time we are not getting the I'm going to pass here 200, and this time if I'm executing this line of code, okay, what happened? Oh, sorry, can you see this? I'm able to get my output, correct? Right. So this is also approach, just note down. Okay, now my one another question. We have to write our requirement is like this: write a program WAP to enter name and percentage marks in the dictionary, in a dictionary, and display the information on the screen, and display the information the screen on the screen, right? This is our requirement. Got it. Now we have to write our program. Means we have to take the input with the user, like enter the name and percentage, and we have to store the name in the name key, percentage in the percentage key. Got it. So hope you understood. What I am going to do, I'm just creating one empty dictionary. How we are defining the dictionary? D is equal to curly braces, this one, or D is equal to dict method. That is the two way we had seen how to define the dictionary, right? What we are going to do, I'm going to create one variable rec is equal to dictionary. I'm going to define a dictionary, and here I'm going to write in n is equal to int number of student. I'm going to write n is equal to input and enter number of student. Enter number, how many entry you want to add, that's what. Enter number of students, enter number of students, and I can, as it is a number, so I should keep inside of int method, but we know intelligent method, we can use that intelligent method here. Eval method I can call, because it will handle all those things whatever we are passing. Okay, so then now I'm going to define I is equal to 1. Why? So this I'll explain in a while. So now what I am going to do, for not for, you can use the for. Just now we had seen with the for loop. Now I am going to show you the same thing with the while loop. While I in, you can do with the for loop also, no doubt. I is equal to n. So many people has asked, means can you able to do these things on a while loop? Yes, you can do. Okay, what I'm going to do, name is equal to, I'm going to keep it name input enter student name. I'm asking enter student name, student student name. Okay, user will pass the name and it will store inside of name marks, and I'm passing here again marks will be what, marks will be what, in the form of percentage, right? So enter the percentage of marks, enter the percentage of marks int sorry, input, enter the percentage of marks. Okay, either you can take a number or you can directly ask the percentage of marks. Okay, so instead of writing this percentage, I would like to percentage of marks. Okay, marks. So you can take a number, or inside of code you can convert the number into the percentage. That is up to you. Okay, I don't want to do, because that things I already taught you. Mathematical operation means add the number, divide by the number, and multiply with the 100. You can able to convert in form of percentage. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a record rec, and rec, in the rec what I'm going to do, I am going to call this name. Okay, and name is equal to with the name I'm going to store the marks, that's all. And here I'm going to increase the I value, I plus equal to 1. That we already knows why we are doing these things. Either you can do this way, or you can do this way also, I is equal to I plus 1. Both the way is correct. Okay, both the way is the same, no doubt at all. Now next I'm going to do the same thing. Let's see me show you. Print name of the student, name of the student. Okay, uh, name of the student. Okay, student. Okay, and what I'm going to do, just try to understand here guys, just try to understand what I'm going to do. I'm going to print some, I'm going to execute some wildcard. Slash T means the tab. Okay, either you can use the spaces or I'm pressing the slash T. Slash N means new line, right? Slash T means, let me show you. Slash T means tab. It will print tab over there. And then percentage of marks. Then percentage of marks. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, percentage of, okay, percentage of marks. Percentage of marks, that's all. And now I have to execute, means I have to print all those name and marks, right? So what I'm going to show you, so for again, for x in record, for x in record, and here I'm going to print slash t, again slash t. Slash t means tab, means it will see tab in the sense of what you are doing. Suppose you want to print like five spaces without name, so you can print like tab, right? Okay, so slash t is for tab. And now comma x is the key, comma x, sorry, comma x is the key, comma, then again comma, and here again slash t means name. It's a format only, nothing else. Two time tab, you are, if you want to press the two time tab, you can just pass the two time tab, and comma RECX, so it will give me X. That's all. And if you are going to execute this code, shift F10, yes, shift F10, you can. So what is saying, enter the number of student, right? So what I can do, enter the number of student, I am passing 10. And now enter the name Rajesh, it will ask percentage 20%. Okay, similarly enter the name. So again I am passing RAUNAK, Ronak, and here percentage 30%. Okay, enter the name, what is 10 time it will execute, because I gave the number of student 10. And now this time I am passing here Alexa, Alexa, and here I am passing 40. Okay, and fifth time 50, name, it is asking name, so I'm passing here Piku, and here I'm passing 50. Okay, so this time again I'm passing Rohini, ROHINI, name, and percentage I am passing here again 50. Value can be repeat, but key should not repeat. Keep in your mind, value can be repeat, but sorry, my bad. Value can be repeat and key cannot repeat. Yes, Rohini is done, and then Roshni, ROSHINI. Okay, Roshni, I'm passing here 70%. And next, Anuraj, passing Anuraj, and here Anuraj I'm passing 80%. And again Anuraj is done. Anurag I'm passing Anurag, and I'm passing 90%. Okay, 0. Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, and then I'm passing Manish, and here I'm passing 95%. Yes, again it is asking the number of student, a name of the student. So this time I'm passing Mohini, MOHINI, right? Mohini, and here I am passing 78.6%. Let it to be. You can see that how the beautiful output you got, right? Can you see this? See, initially here what we did, can you see this line number 15 slash T means before. Okay, sorry. So I made it maximize. Let me. What happened? Sorry guys, this happened something. This time I am giving the out number 3 number only, so no need to add the more element. So I'm going to give the 3, and here I am passing the name like a Rajesh, and I am passing the percentage 30. Here I am passing the Manish, and I'm passing the marks is the 40, and I'm passing the Ronak, and I'm passing the 50, right? And can you see this? What is going to happen? So try to understand. See here I put the slash tab, slash t, right? Here I pass the slash t. So that's what, after this line, it got printed this space. After that 2 times slash t. So name, after name, I pass 2 times slash t, and then RECX. Money is 40%, Ronak 30, 50%. Hope you understood this code, right? This is the one of the more important thing. Let me pass this. Observe the code for 5 minutes. Just for sake of knowledge, first observe this code for 1 or 2 minutes. And if you face any problem, if you are not able to understand any line of code, just do let me know. I'll help you out. Okay. Okay. Okay, then cool. No doubt, right? Are we good to go? So now next is question, how to delete the element from the dictionary. How to delete the element from the dictionary. Okay, cool. Then next is how to delete the element from the dictionary. Do you guys need break? So how to delete the element from the dictionary? This is our question. Okay, let's see. I'm going to define one dictionary. D is equal to, I'm going to define here 100 colon Durga, comma 200 colon Ronak colon Ramesh. That's all. And print D. I'm going to print first D. Let me print this Shift F10. I'm able to get this, right? And suppose I want to remove something. I want to remove some of the key. So what you can do, del is the key, del, and here you can pass D100. Suppose Rajesh I want to remove, and afterwards if you are printing D, then sorry Shift F10. Can you see this? Rajesh got removed. So you can, in this way you can remove the element. So you can delete, you can remove these things. And let's suppose you want to remove complete element, you want to remove the complete element inside of dictionary. Delete the complete elements, all elements, delete the all elements from the dictionary. So there is a method like d dot clear, d dot clear. Clear is the method, and if you are passing, then 1 minute F10, you can see first we got a Rajesh, Ronak, Ramesh, and clear. After clear, if I'm calling D, you are not able to get anything. Similarly, this is also one thing. Next, suppose you want to remove complete D. So what you can do, you just call del D, del D. See, what is the difference between D and clear, del and clear? Try to understand. Shift F10, if I am executing, I am getting error. What is the error? Can you try to understand? Name error. D is not defined. Okay, just try to understand this concept, and later on we can able to ensure this. Okay, so difference between clear method and delete method, del method. What is the difference between the clear and delete? So just try to understand. If you are clearing, if you are calling this method, suppose you have dictionary, if you are calling the clear method, then clear, suppose D is the dictionary, and here we have key colon value, we have value. If you are calling the dictionary clear method, D dot clear method, and afterward if your D will clear your element, but variable is still present inside of your memory. Memory still occupy this variable. Okay, but if you are calling the del method with the D, and afterwards if you are trying to print D, if you are trying to print D, you cannot able to print a D, because if you are calling this del method and afterwards if you are trying to D, it release our memory, it release our, you know, RAM. Okay, so that you cannot. This is the one difference between the del and clear method, right? So understood the concept. So that's what we are getting the output error, like a name error. D is not defined. Got it? Okay. Now we are going to see the important functions at all. So clear you had seen, and you can see the len function is very important here. So len function we had seen in case of list also. So you can call the len function, and inside of len function, if you are calling d, and now if you are executing this 3, because we have 3 element, right? So len function you can get it to know. And similarly there is a get function is there, like I told you get function. So get function is what? If you want to fetch the particular element with the key, so there is a one way, like a print, and you can pass d, and if you're passing here 100, okay, so you can aram se get to know. Oh shit, okay, got it. Because 100 is not a string, it's a number, right? So can you see this, Rajesh? I got. So with this also you can get to know, and there is a one method mode is there, get is there, and inside of get you can pass, sorry, d dot get. We have to call the d dot get, and here we are passing still 100. Shift F10. If you are passing, we are getting. Happily we are getting. Suppose we are passing 101, what is going to happen? Can you see this? The difference between these two methods, right? So if key is not present, then we are getting none, right? If we have key is not present, then we are getting none. But if key is present, then we are getting the output. Got it? So this is the difference. But in case of this method, if you are following this approach, then if key is not present, then ultimately you will get an error. But in case of get method, if you are calling the get method with the help of dictionary, then even though key is not present, it will work. It will give none, means key is not present, right? But it will not throw an error. Hope you understood the difference. Got it. Pop method, as we already knows, the pop method is what is going to be done with the pop method. Means suppose it will remove that pop, means basically. So d dot pop method, if you are calling the pop, and if you are removing the 101 100 and print d, afterwards if I am printing d and shift F10, if I am going, see, can you see the output, final output? We don't have Rajesh because we removed the Rajesh with this. Okay, shallow copy, deep copy, I already showed you. Give you some questions for tomorrow task. So for tomorrow you have two tasks, right? One is list comprehension, I guess, and another task I'm going to give it to you. Okay, so assignment for tomorrow, guys. Just beware about that. This is the assignment. Okay, write a program. You have a, today night and tomorrow morning also, till evening. Tomorrow we are going to take a class at evening 6 p.m, right? So no worries at all. So write a program, and please complete your homework. Okay, if you are not able to complete, then ask me at that moment only. Write a program to take a dictionary, dictionary with from the keyboard or with the user. Okay, both will work. Keyboard and print the sum, print the sum of the value, print the sum of the values. Okay, question number 1. Question number 2. Okay, write a program, find number of occurrence of each letter. I guess this time you can able to do, you people can able to do, because we already knows lot of concept right now. Okay, try to take attempts. Okay, present. Yeah, Sabrinath, I got your assignment. I forget to reply over the mail. Good. Present in the given string, okay. Two question. Yeah, there is one more question, I forget that. What is that? In the previous batch just now I showed them. Write a program, WAP. I can write, right? WAP. Write a program to find of each vowel, numbers of occurrence of each vowel present in the given string. Correct? Okay, just this much, guys. Then that's all for today, I guess. If you have any question, you can ask me. Cool. Thank you, guys. Thank you for attending the session, and good night. Take care of yourself with the corona and be safe at your home.